I'm Rafael Salas, a professor of art at Ripon College, and in the summer of 2014 I painted a mural in downtown Ripon called The Long Way Home. I practice art because, to me, I can respond to the world in ways that are analytical as well as creative and poetic. So an image that I make or an artwork that I make can be romantic, it can be a protest, and it can be beautiful all at the same time. It doesn't have to be one thing or the other. And so that element of mystery and that element of things being more complex than they first appear certainly relates to the way I see the world. I did grow up in Ripon, and I moved here when I was maybe 11, and so this was my hometown for my entire adolescence. And I left for a long time, but then I returned. And when I began my job here at Ripon, it brought me back home, and that has become a real influence to my artwork and to what I do here in town. You know, I have returned, and that has been real important to me. Last year there was, as you recall, there was a fire in downtown Ripon, and I was, like everybody else, you know, kind of very affected by it. It was tragic, really sad, and very dramatic. You know, it happened right over the holidays. And in kind of walking past the, I guess it's wreckage, right? You know, the burned out buildings, and seeing not only that, but also the landscape around it, a number of the buildings that were left vacant from the Boca Grande project, I guess I was responding with some outrage and a little bit of sadness, kind of all mixed together. And I started to think about something that I could do to add my opinion, add my response, and those emotions. And over the holidays, I imagined this mural project, and I brought it to the president of the college and applied for a 14 for 14 grant, and it was accepted. And through a number of details, I was able to acquire the paint, the bucket truck, and all the materials, and I got going on it after commencement of 2014.
This mural was funded through the Office of the President's 14 for 14 program. And I just want to say something about this idea, because this mural perfectly encapsulates what I had in my mind when we created this. The 14 for 14 program, for those of you who don't know, 14 grants of $1,400 to a staff, a faculty member, or a student to do something creative that would help enliven campus or the community. And we had the 13 for 13 the year before, and we'll have 15 for 15 next year. Funny how that math keeps going on.
President Massetti set up a grant program on campus for student projects, faculty research, or other projects that would be connected to a connection between the Ripon community and the Ripon College campus. And he gave 14 grants, each worth $1,400. And projects of various regard were used, and my mural project was one of those.
The grants have gone for all sorts of interesting things, right? For guest speakers on medical ethics, they've gone for those Adirondack chairs on the quads, and they went for this mural. I was inspired to do this in part when I came here, and of course we will be doing it again in January, by the Nobel Prize economist Muhammad Yunus. Right? Muhammad Yunus, for those of you who don't know, founded the Grameen Bank. He won, he's from Bangladesh. And his idea was a simple one. Small loans or micro loans can make a huge difference, right? Small amounts of money can make a huge difference, or in the case of the 14 for 14 proposal, small amounts of funds can help transform things. We need to ask what we can do to make downtown better, what we can do together to make downtown Ripon a better place. And I think there's been, for all of us, enough of the finger pointing and enough of the blame. Today is about asking ourselves what we can do, the small things even, that make downtown Ripon a better place. I know what Raphael can do, right? Raphael, native son of this town, has made a big difference. I've spoken with our art department and our faculty there, and I hope the college will do even more with the arts and downtown. And this includes doing things with empty window spaces here with our student art. It may include sculpture, but we also, as the college, have a role in trying to help beautify downtown.
So I had this initial idea for a mural, and I kind of walked up and down Watson Street looking for a wall, and it appeared that Farrell's Fine Furniture would be a great location because the wall was open, available, there was a good sight line. So I went to Troy, who's the owner, Troy Farrell, and he was kind of rock and roll from the get-go. He was all on board. He said, looks great. I showed him a number of sketches and early studies, and he was on board the whole time. So that was my initial contact, and he was positive from the get-go.
Selfridge, Cat, Mapes, Salas.
I was very honored to be acknowledged during the dedication ceremony. It was really great to have members of the community out there who I know, local artists, family, as well as people involved with the Ripon College community as well. That's what it was all about, and I was glad people came out to see it. Yeah, it was really great.
Welcome to this special dedication of Raphael Salas's The Long Way Home. Pablo Picasso once said that the artist is a receptacle for emotions that come from all over the place, from the sky, from the earth, from a scrap of paper, from a passing shape, from a spider's web. Some painters transform the sun into a yellow spot, others transform a yellow spot into the sun.
When I think about Ripon, I'm nostalgic for what our early ideals were, and all of those went into my drawings for the project. I created this sort of rickety structure that holds aloft our first building in Ripon, the Ripon Longhouse. And that building was meant to contain this group of people who developed this utopian society. And so I was hoping that we in our community could sort of reflect on those ideals that built our city in the first place, but also acknowledge that, you know, in many ways those ideals aren't quite where we're at anymore. When I walk around the streets of Ripon, I feel like we as a community need to compel ourselves to remind ourselves of our best nature. We need to be careful with what we build. We need to support what we have that is wonderful about Ripon and not make the easiest solution, you know? The easiest solution sometimes is building cheap structures at the edge of town. That's been part of the American culture for a long time. It's cheap, it's easy, it doesn't show our best selves. And I think investing in a town that has remarkable architecture that we care about would show our best selves to the community and to the world. And I really hope that our community can take that in hand in the future.
I'm proud that the college and faculty and staff and students want to find these kinds of solutions to help downtown become a more vibrant place for us to live.
Thanks to everybody for coming, really. Students and colleagues, as well as friends and family from the community. It's great to see everybody here. I was going to paint all that other stuff, but I don't keep up on my reading. So but really, I am happy to let this mural speak for itself at this point. There's been lots of other words around it, so I think it will do its best job just sort of being here. So please come visit it. I did want to say a few thank yous, though. Very heartfelt thank you to Ripon College, Zach Massetti, and Meg Karn for helping me get this thing up on the wall through their financial support and philosophical support. Troy Farrow, thanks so much for the side of your building. You've been gung-ho the entire time, gave me back room to sort of make a mess in, and really helped me out a lot. So I appreciate it. The Ripon College physical plant, Ryan Scamra and Mark Fitzwater taught me how to use the bucket truck. I hope never have to go in that thing again, but it worked out great, so I really appreciate that. The Ripon community, I grew up here, and a lot of those people who I grew up with have sort of seen this thing go up on the wall, so I really appreciate that too. I spent a lot of years here before I came back to Ripon, and then now my 9th year at Ripon College, and it's just been great to have all of that support. Kate, thanks so much for your support. I dragged her out here. This is my wife, Kate. I dragged her out here sometimes 3 times a day with vague or overt anxieties about what was going on. I needed an extra set of eyeballs, so thank you very much. And really, just thank you all for coming today, and thanks for supporting art in Ripon. Thanks a lot.
While we know it's been a long time coming, Ripon Medical Center is proud to start construction of a new facility. It will help heighten our patients' overall experience with the dedicated healthcare professionals that have come to know them over the years. We are so fortunate to have such strong community support for this project, and we appreciate all the feedback that we've received during this very intentional and detailed process. We know that individuals and families in the Ripon area prefer to receive healthcare at a local level. And that is why we work diligently to bring as many services to our local community as possible.
Well, I think it's an opportunity for us to open up a brand new state-of-the-art facility for this community. New equipment and a new fresh facility to attract the people of the community, attract maybe additional businesses to the community, students to the college.
What a beautiful day we've been blessed with today, and it's a wonderful day of our groundbreaking ceremony. We've been on a fascinating journey over the past several years. In fact, it's been about 10 years of planning, and it's very rewarding for me to be standing here in front of you today, getting ready to start construction on our new Ripon Medical Center. The thought of the Ripon community having a state-of-the-art medical facility has been a dream of the Board of Directors, both past and present, for the leadership of Ripon Medical Center, its employees, doctors, foundation, and volunteers for some time. We know the wait will be well worth the final product, a facility that Ripon will be proud of and will service your needs now and well into the future.
This is a pretty special day for me. 2 years ago, October, I made a cold call to Ripon Medical Center to speak to the interim CEO at that time, Neil Todd-Hunter, to see what the possibilities of Ignesian Healthcare and the Ripon Medical Center working together. And I had no idea that 2 years later I'd be standing on this site with the real opportunity of building a new facility in this community, and I am incredibly proud to be part of this. Ripon has got it going on. You've got a vibrant community, job growth, your college is booming and doing quite well. I look at Dr. Zeman here, thank you for being here, and the public educational system here is outstanding. You've got a great place to raise family, and in about 2 years from now, you're going to have an outstanding place to receive your health care.
1, 2, 3, toss it off. There we go, good, good, good. So take another pile one more time. 1, 2, 3, toss it.
All right, welcome to the new Ripon Medical Center. I'll let everybody get in. Okay, so this is our main entrance. The doors behind you will be full glass doors that slide open and close. And so you'll see there'll be a lot of light as you enter the first floor. Off to the left here will be clinic space. So it'll be clinic and rehab, outpatient rehab space here. And to the right, we don't have it now because we haven't done all the interior studs obviously yet, but there'll be a greeter station and an entrance into our surgery department. So you can see where all the plumbing is coming up from here to the windows back there. All of that will be our surgery department, where we'll have 3 ORs, an endo room where they do endoscopies and things, a sterile core around the OR space, and a waiting area here for the OR. So this is our future OR. We'll walk this way. As you can see straight ahead, we have a line of windows, and that's going to be our commons area. So when you're standing in the lobby space, which this will be, and there'll be walls here and walls here going into departments, you'll see there's a lot of light. There's light coming from the main entrance and coming from the commons area, and that was important to us as we designed the building to make sure that when people walked in, they had a sense of nature and natural light, and for healing and for just soft lighting. So you want to follow me this way? Okay, so this will be looking at the main elevators going up to the second floor. So this is where visitors and others will come to get to the second floor, and the staircase will be right next to it, coming down out of that space there. This will be the second entrance to the hospital. So the ER entrance and then the after hours entrance. So we'll be closing the front entrance like we do now around 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and then all visitors and others will come through our emergency room entrance, and we do that just from a security perspective. Where the windows are here, we'll have a meditation area as well. So some people like to call it a chapel, some people like to call it a meditation area, where we'll be building a space that people can go and just have some quiet time and have some reflective time while they're here. And you can see our attached ambulance garage back here. So there'll be a separate loop outside as well for the ambulance to come in. They won't be sharing driveways like we currently do, so they'll have a loop of their own. There'll be an entrance coming into the building, into the site from towards Douglas Street. We'll have an entrance just for emergency access, and then we'll have the main access that we all came in today through that main road. I don't know if any of you have used our ER, but as you walked through that space, I know this is the first time I've been in this building, and so it was quite impressive to me to see how much larger that space is, and it just gives us so much more room to do our work as we look at even just our emergency room. So I think we added, Tom help me, our current fair square footage of our ED is about 5,000, and I think this one is closer to almost 9, right? So I want to poke your head into our wellness center as well. So you'll see that in our current facility, we have some of our wellness activities occurring in our rehab gym. If you remember from the last time we met, I mentioned that we're going to have a totally separate wellness center. And so that's what that is on the end. There will be a hallway, that's what those 2 double doors are, that will connect the wellness center to the hospital building outside of the rehab department. So patients are coming for to use the wellness center and they have an appointment or something in the hospital. They don't have to go through the rehab department or the clinic to get back into the hospital and vice versa. There'll be a separate space for them to do that. And you can see we put a lot of windows here on the south side as well. We were trying to really optimize any natural light that we could. And so we lined this wall here with windows as well. There will not be a wall that goes all the way up to the ceiling to the rehab department. There will be some half walls and other things so that they can also borrow on that natural light. So this will be the rehab gym just for rehab patients, and then we'll have a separate wellness center for our wellness community members. So this is the patient elevator again that comes up to the second floor. You remember what it looked like downstairs. And the open stairway you can see with the wooden gate around it. This is where patients and visitors will come up. So they'll come off the elevator, off the stairway, and all of this is clinic space. So this will be family medicine, internal medicine, OBGYN, general surgery, infusion clinic, medical oncology. So a lot of the clinic services will be right here. Back here will be conference area, my office, the administrative offices, pharmacy, inpatient pharmacy. We'll have diabetes education and respiratory therapy in this area here. So a lot of clinic type space up here and administrative space. And as we walk this way, this will be all of our inpatient space. So it'll be our inpatient rooms, ICU, women's and infants, all on this end. So if any of you have been on our current inpatient unit, you can also see how much we've expanded this space compared to what we have now. And a lot of that expansion is from going from semi-private rooms to private patient rooms. And so each of our patient rooms, Tom, help me, 250 square feet, right? So right now, a patient room is, what are our current patient rooms, about 200 that are semi-private?
Yeah, what's growing is the rest.
Yes, yes. Right. So our current patient rooms, and they're semi-private, so they share them, are about 200 square feet. We're moving to a private patient room, which is 250 square feet. And a lot of that growth is to make them more handicap accessible. A lot of our patients who come in need wheelchairs, need walkers, those sort of things, and there's different codes that are required by the state. And so that growth is due to some of those things. And to add a little more space for when the family wants to stay. So half the room will really be divided, about, I should say, a third of the room will be for family space. Couch and computer area and some other things for family amenities as we look to encourage family members to stay in the healing process. So the patient rooms will be around the perimeter of this big, huge square that you see. We'll have the first couple rooms as ICU rooms. The rest will be med-surg rooms. I showed you where we'll have some shelved space, and then our OBGYN or women's and infants rooms will be at the front of the unit. So, and all of this internal stuff will be nurses' stations and supply areas, medication areas, clean and dirty utility, all of the things that go along with taking care of patients. So, but you know, this is my first time in here as well, and so, you know, as I look at it, I just, again, really, we are so blessed as a community to have this, and the space is just unbelievable. Our associates are going to be so excited to have this. You know, we struggle at times with where do we put this and how do we do that, and you know, it's going to be beautiful. We're going to have a lot of space to do what we need to take care of people. So. Okay, well, welcome. Welcome to the new Ripon Medical Center. So where we're standing right now is what we'll call the atrium. When this is complete, right about here will be a revolving glass door. And so this will be a vestibule. You'll see on either side there's places for wheelchairs,
And there'll be some benches and things out here for waiting as well, so people that need to wait for transportation. So then you walk into the front entrance of Ripon Medical Center. To our right is the operating room, day surgery and inpatient surgery. And to the left is our rehab and podiatry offices and orthopedics. And the reason we put those services right off the main entrance is because a lot of those patients who come in have mobility challenges. And so we wanted to make sure that from the parking lot till the time they're able to get into podiatry, orthopedics, or rehab, it's a very short distance. We also wanted to make it easy for our OR patients that come in. About 70% of our surgeries are outpatient, and so they're in and out that same day. And so we wanted to make it very convenient for them to come in and out as well. This is the Wellness Center. So this was the $2 million project that was funded by the Foundation for Ripon Medical Center. Absolutely beautiful space. This will be a 24/7 facility that's open to the communities that we serve. It'll be a membership, similar to what we do today at our current facility. The entrance will be a 24/7 entrance that they'll get with an access card. There'll be weights and cardio equipment on the lower level here. The upper level will be somewhat of a social area with a coffee or smoothie bar up here, some seating area. The locker rooms are in here. And down below you'll see a classroom. That classroom will have a wood floor, and we'll be able to use it as a multi-purpose exercise room, class exercise room. So it could be for spinning, it could be for yoga, Pilates, Zumba, all different classes. And we're working right now with internal and external individuals to do classes and other things once we open here. So feel free to walk down and take pictures of it goes back fairly far. It's a large classroom. You'll see, we can't really see right now, but once the dirt pile is down, you'll have a beautiful view of the pond. There is a walking path. You can see it very clearly out here. This walking path goes all the way around the hospital. And so we wanted to make sure that if people wanted to go outdoors as well and complete some of their fitness, that they had an ability to do that as well. So you'll see they can exit right through these doors and go outside. And if you just look at the number of wires for the technology that we use, phones, computers, all of those pieces, and the number of wires that we have to run through this building, and the miles of wires that we have to make everything connect, just amazed me. This is the main nurses area for our women and infants. Our nursery is back in the corner. And you might ask, why are there no windows in our nursery? And it's because in today's day and age, they don't spend any time in there. They're with mom in the room. And so only time they come into the nursery is for maybe an assessment or right after they're delivered to administer medications or something if needed. Other than that, they spend a majority of their time in the room with their family. So welcome to Ripon Medical Center. As you can see, it's changed significantly since the last time you all toured with me. So I'm excited to show you the progress we've made. We're only a couple weeks away from move-in. So we have a unique setup at Ripon Medical Center where we were able to incorporate what's called a sterile core into the design of our facility. This area will have supplies. You see the racks that are in here now. It'll have our Pyxis machines, which have all of our medications in them. This is a place where staff and surgeons can come in and out of the OR rooms to get things like supplies and medications without having to re-scrub, because this is all a sterile area. So nobody is allowed in here unless you're sterile, but really allows for efficiency. So at our current facility, we do not have a sterile core. So anytime they left the OR, they'd have to re-scrub when they went back into the OR. Here they do not have to. So if they forget something or they need an additional piece of equipment or a different supply or an additional medication, they can roam about this area freely and remain sterile. So this is the back, what I call the back of house into our emergency room. We have 5 treatment rooms and 2 trauma rooms. Again, similar to what you saw in our pre- and post-op area, we have privacy with the glass sliding doors and curtains, which is also nice. In our current setup, we have doors that close
and the nurses cannot see in there when they're not in with the patients. And so this allows for privacy, but also allows them to keep curtains a little bit open, or to have some flexibility with that. So if there's somebody that they need to keep an eye on and not have to actually sit in there, they can close the door, and so the patient can still have privacy and the nurse can still have an ability to be checking on the patient. So again, each of the ER treatment rooms have a computer in there where the nurses and physicians document right at the bedside. These are our 2 trauma rooms. So again, you'll see booms hanging from the ceiling here, similar to what you saw in the OR. This is where patients who have had a traumatic injury come to either one of these rooms. Again, it keeps the cords up off the floor and just allows for some safety and flexibility with the equipment as they need to move around for the patient. They're much larger, as you can see from the treatment rooms, because typically if there's a patient who has had a traumatic injury, there's a lot of people in there. And so we need more space for the trauma rooms. This is the main work area for nursing, and you'll see behind here is what we call our pneumatic tube system. This is also a great enhancement from our current facility. These tubes can be sent all around the building to lab and pharmacy and the inpatient area. So things like labs, so if I draw a lab on a patient, instead of the nurse having to leave the unit and run it to the lab, they can stick it in the tube system and tube it over to the lab. Pharmacy, instead of pharmacy having to leave the pharmacy to come down to the emergency room to get medications, they can put antibiotics and fluids and different things in the pneumatic tube system and send it right down to the emergency room. So huge efficiency, has added huge efficiency into our system. We had people running all over the hospital before, and we don't have, oftentimes we have one pharmacist working, and so for that pharmacist to have to be running around the building, that's a significant amount of time, and so this has really improved our efficiency, and we're really excited about it.
Is this also something that's fairly new in the hospital?
No, this is something that's been around for a long time.
Okay.
A lot of the older hospitals, again, don't have them because the cost to retrofit this into an older facility is very costly, as opposed to starting it up new. But they've been in hospitals all over. When I was in the military, we had one that was 15 years ago, and so they've been, they've been around for a while. But I don't think St. Agnes has a tube system, do they? Do they have a tube system? Okay. But Ripon? Just Ripon? They have a tube system as well? Okay. So great opportunity for efficiency. Like I said, our associates this was probably their number one ask in all of this building was, if you could give me a tube system, I would greatly appreciate it, as far as not having to run all over the place. So we were really happy. Our associates were obviously ecstatic when we were able to incorporate this into our budget. So I'll take you into one of the patient rooms, but I want you to note our what we call a remote link. This is a system that is connected directly with our electronic health record, and so if a patient is on a fall precaution, or if they can't have anything after midnight because they're having a procedure that next day, or if they do not resuscitate, those sort of things will be triggered out of the electronic health record and come up as an icon on here to alert nursing. So if I enter the room, or if I'm a physician that enters the room, I know what's happening with that patient. Also on our badges, as we enter the room, both on this screen and the large television, it'll come up as Catherine Burgos, Chief Operating Officer, is here. And so it'll show the patient and the family who's entering the room, as well as people who are walking by. It'll show them that I'm in here. And so if I'm a physician in here, the nurse is looking for the physician, they might say, oh, good, he's here. I'll go in there and round with him. So this is a really cool feature that we have. Alright, and this is the general medical surgical room. So you can see it's not set up yet, as you can see. But we have a couch in here that extends to a twin bed for family members if they want to stay. There's a recliner. Again, the charting area here for nursing and physicians. All the medical gases are built in behind the head wall. We have a wardrobe space for the patient and their belongings, as well as a locked drawer.
This is the TV screen I was telling you about. It's meant for patient education. Also, they can rent movies and play video games and other things if they would like. But we can do a multitude of things. Again, as I walk in the room, it'll have my picture, and it'll say Catherine Burgos, Chief Operating Officer on here. And it'll do that for anybody that enters the room who is employed here. So this is our OB unit. These two sets of doors stay closed all of the time because we have a very specific security system for our infants, and they're activated outside of these doors. This is the nursing work area, and then we have two labor and delivery rooms. We call them LDRP, labor, delivery, recovery, and postpartum. And so mom and baby stay in here the whole time that they're here. Behind you is where we do some triage. Sometimes mom will come in and maybe think they're in labor, and so we'll do some testing to make sure, see whether or not they are. There's a nursery over in the back corner where we take babies just for a short period of time. They don't really stay in the nurseries like they used to. They stay in most of the time with mom. And so, but there is a nursery for where we do our nurse practitioners do their assessments and those sort of things on the babies. All of our rooms, including our labor and delivery rooms, have the nurse server. And so equipment and medications, things that are needed inside the room, are stocked from outside. And this pushes into the room so that they don't have to disrupt the patient to stock the room. And then the nurse can get it. So materials management stocks it, and the nurse can get it. And so you can see there's a light in here that comes on, so at nighttime they can pull this curtain so they don't disrupt the patient, and then get things out of the nurse server if they need to. We have shelved 7 patient rooms. That's what's behind this big long wall here for expansion. So if we need to expand more LDRP or OB rooms, we can. If we need to expand medical surgical rooms, we can. We wanted to provide a space for growth. And so that's what this space is here. We have our clinic space behind you. That is our multi-specialty clinic. And so we have family medicine, internal medicine, pediatrics, OBGYN, cardiology, neurology, all sorts of medical oncology, all sorts of our specialties that serve Ripon Medical Center in this space. This is the outpatient physical therapy department, or I should say therapy department, because they do physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and cardiac rehab in this space. So you'll see some treatment rooms that line the gym. In our current facility, we share the function of therapy and fitness. And so I'll take you into the wellness center. Now in this facility, they're separate. And so when people come who have a membership, they will go to the wellness center. This is strictly for outpatients. Good afternoon. Ripon Medical Center is proud to bring this exceptional new facility to you all and to the communities that we serve. We've been on this thrilling journey together, first seeking careful input from our businesses, from our community leaders, from our citizens, and from our own team members, to now fulfilling the dream to have a state-of-the-art facility right here in Ripon. What an exciting time for our history. We know this facility brings with it many advantages to our patients and our families. We have an enhanced patient experience, private patient rooms that promote better sleep, better healing, where patients and families and their friends can provide emotional support for the patients in a private area, departments that are adjacent to one another to bring out better efficiencies in the work that we do, and the list could go on and on. This new facility is another demonstration that Ripon Medical Center and Ignesian Healthcare are here for the long haul. We know that individuals and families in the Ripon area prefer to receive their health care locally. That's why we are working diligently to bring as many services to you all here locally in our community as possible.
I'm very honored to be a part of this process. As you know, the planning for our new facility has been underway for quite some time, and this for us is really quite a dream come true.
On behalf of the Congregation of Sisters of St. Agnes and CSA Sponsorship Ministry, I echo Catherine's words of welcome. We share in your joy and all your enthusiasm as we celebrate with you the long hoped-for dream of a new hospital that has come true.
You're going to notice there's so many new features here at Ripon Medical Center. With our private patient rooms, you will see the patient safety comes first. and some of our most significant features in addition to the technology that enhance the communication we have been providing for our patient care. Beautiful wood cabinetry rivals that of a custom-built kitchen. You tell me real estate. Giving the room a modern home-like feel. Medical equipment, extra chairs for guests, and even the wastebaskets are concealed inside cabinet doors for a neat, uncluttered look.
It is certainly my pleasure to be here today, and it is really an exciting time for all of us. I'd like to share some details with you about the opportunity that came before the Foundation Board and how our Board of Directors embraced it. Of course, I'm speaking about the new RMC Wellness Center. The Foundation is honored to have donated $2.4 million to support the construction of the Wellness Center. Thank you. This Wellness Center will provide so many opportunities for Ripon Medical Center and the community as a whole. Our patients will have the privacy and specialized care they need and desire through a separate rehab gym, while others looking to enhance their fitness levels will have the fitness center to achieve their goals. And it will open up opportunities for more specific fitness-related classes as well as educational classes on wellness. We are proud to be part of this wonderful project in the Ripon community. And we are grateful for all the support given to the Foundation for Ripon Medical Center, because without that support, we wouldn't have had that $2.4 million to give for this project. So thank you for that. And that has led us to this very important milestone in our history. So thank you all for your support of the Foundation. I hope it continues as you see the good work that we do within the community.
It is an absolute honor for me to be here. I have to tell you, it's somewhat emotional for me in that I always had a plan since day one at Ignesian Healthcare to help Ignesian grow and to better serve the communities that we existed in. And Ripon was always on my radar, and I have some notes here to thank many of the people that have already been thanked. And then I look around the room, and essentially every person in this room has had some input or impact or planning or something to do with this facility. So I won't go through all 100 plus of you, but I know all of you have touched this project in some way. I do have to thank two people though, because clearly without the vision and foresight that Joan Karsten and her board at that time had to at least entertain a conversation from this, at the time, seemed like this big, huge Catholic health system that existed in Fond du Lac, to see what could be. I thank you for that opportunity, Joan, and I hope that you and the board at that time recognize that we have fulfilled our commitment to this community. We had three things to do. First one was to build a new critical access facility, state-of-the-art. We have completed that. We were going to birth babies, and we've been doing that for well over a year. Thank you, Dr. Shepard and team. And we were going to implement electronic health record, and I'm proud to say that all of those things. Now, we will not end there. We will continue to grow, expand, and offer new services to better serve you as the citizens of Western Fond du Lac County and Eastern Green Lake County and a little bit of Dodge County, and whatever county we can exist in to serve you, we're here for that. My second thank you is to Catherine Burgos. Catherine was the fly in the ointment that questioned all of the architects and facilities people and contractors, of which I'm sure had pictures of Catherine at various points during the process on a dartboard. Like, this lady requests one more thing. You know how that goes. But you're the reason that this is what it is today, and I'm grateful for your service, your vision, and your stickiness to stick with this project and stick with it. Ignesian Healthcare. Catherine was employed as a chief nursing officer at Ripon Medical Center when we affiliated, and we knew immediately that she would be the leader of this fine organization at some point. So my congratulations to you, Catherine. It's awesome. My board chair, Joe Reidemeyer, who was able to get comfortable with the risks that we were going to take to enter into this. I look at my board member, Jim Simon, who was like, oh my God, we're going to do what? Trust us, it'll be okay. And it's going to be great, by the way. So Al Schrader, Mayor Will, thank you for your partnership with the city of Ripon. I couldn't be happier about what this brings to this community. So really, today, this is about you as Ripon residents and community celebrating something that you've been needing for a number of years. Bricks and mortar do not bring better health care. We can build the fanciest buildings in the world, but that's not going to lead you to better health. But what's going to lead you to better health is facilities that welcome some of the best providers in the country and the best environment that we can to heal in, and that's what this does. It may seem opulent in some ways, but this facility is here for the next 100 years. And we wanted to give you something that you could be proud of, that you could represent to other communities of what it means to you. I'm honored to be a part of this. I had nothing to do with this, by the way, other than to say, build a new hospital, okay, and get it done on time, and get it done within budget, and we've done all of that. We're a little behind time, but we were hoping to open, honestly, in the fall, but Mother Nature wasn't so kind to us over the last year and a half. So with that, I congratulate all of you. My ask of you today is that you tell every one of your friends and family how wonderful the health care is at Ripon Medical Center and all of the new technologies that will help them lead healthier lives and to use our facility. Catherine, you and Joan are going to be the giant scissor cutters, and the rest of us are just going to do our part here. So, PR group, what do you want? Shelley, where?
Right here.
And then jump around, Marty. Yeah. Joe, you got scissors? Okay, here we go.
Hang on,
we pose.
There'll be a couple shots. The first shot will be everybody posed with the scissors, looking at me.
Okay.
And then looking down. That'll be the second shot. And the third shot is the real thing. So get nice and tight. And I'm going to back up here. Just like that. But in the end, just get a little tighter there. There we go. Good. So everybody looking right up at me. Good. And that's nice. One more in case somebody blinked. 1, 2, 3. Look down at the ribbon. Big smile. Good. And I'll count to 3 and let her rip. All right. 1, 2, 3. Cut away. Oh.